Welcome back to another Varieties Saturday here on the Craig Collects channel. I am Craig, I am a collector, and as you can see, we're finishing off pre-decimal today from the estate lot. We've got 4 different coins we're going to be going through today: the 3p, the 6pence, the shilling, and the florin. Now, unlike the bronze pre-decimal, the pennies and the halfpennies, we don't have much of each variety, so we probably won't get a full date run, but we'll see what we've got. Now, one of the cool things about the silver pre-decimal coins that we didn't have with the bronze pre-decimal coins is these were first minted in 1910. So if we do find a 1910 coin, it will have the effigy of Edward VII on the back. So we're going to start off with the 3pence. This is the Australian 3pence coin. Tiny little thing. From 1910 to 1938, it had the W.H.J. Blakemore designed Australian coat of arms on the reverse. In 1938, that changed to this sheaf of 3 stalks of wheat with the ribbon around it, designed for the coin by George Kruger Gray. This was then the definitive on the coins from 1938 right through until 1964 when they were discontinued. So what we know about the 3pence is it was minted in 1910 for Edward. It was then minted in 1911 to 1936 with George V, with the exception of 1913 and 1929 through 1933. From 1931 to 1952, with the exception of 1945 and 1946, it was minted with George VI and Queen Elizabeth. The effigy was on the back of the coins from 1953 to 1964. So what we do know with the 3pence, is they were minted by the Royal Mint at Tower Hill in London, by the Royal Australian Mint in Melbourne and Sydney, and also by the United States Mint in San Francisco and Denver. So we're going to go through and have a look at all of these different, go and sort these out, have a look at them. We'll super fast coin mode these into date order, and then we'll go through and have a look and see if we can find some of the different mints. And we'll go from there. So let's hit super fast coin mode and I'll bring you back in a moment. Well, we've found quite a few. We do have a few missing though. Technically, Edward VII is the only one with a complete date run because he only had 1 coin minted for him. George V, across here, is missing 1912, 1914, 1915, 1916, 1919, 1920, 1922 through 1926. 1928, 1934 and 1936. Almost complete here on George VI, he's only missing 1939. And the same with Queen Elizabeth, she's only missing 1954. What I'm going to do now is go through everything again and see if I can find some of the different mints in some of the years, and we'll come back in and have a look at where these were minted and how we can tell where some of the overseas ones were minted. So there's a lot of different mintages. On screen is a list of all the mints in all the years where they were minted. We do have some ones. We are only missing 1 of the coins which is minted somewhere else, and that's from this year here, 1942. So in 1942, coins were minted in Melbourne, San Francisco and Denver. There was just 528,000 minted in Melbourne, which is the one we're missing. The San Francisco Mint had 8 million and the Denver Mint had 16 million. So we're just going to have a quick look here. This here is the San Francisco minted 1942 coin, which you can tell by the S mint mark just here. Of course, in the same position on the Denver minted coin, you'll see the D mint mark. If we had the Melbourne coin, there would be no mint mark. So we've got 2 of the 3 coins minted in 1942. Then in 1943, we have all 3 coins which are minted. Got this one here, which is the San Francisco minted coin, got the Melbourne minted coin, you can see there's no mint mark on it, and then we've got the Denver minted coin with the D mint mark on it. In 1944, San Francisco was the only place minting, so that does have an S mint mark on it, but there are no other ones. Then the only other one which was minted in more than one location was in 1951, and in 1951 the coins were minted in Melbourne. On screen, this is a Melbourne minted coin. There are no mint marks on it. They were also minted by the Royal Mint in Tower Hill, London, and the way you can tell a Royal Mint coin is the mint mark PL here in the ribbon. So there we go. Not a bad day of it. We are about to move on to the Sixpence coins. This is the Australian Sixpence coin with the WHJ Blakemore designed coat of arms on the reverse. This was definitive for their entire lifespan from 1910 to 1964. We've got the Sixpence, but we are none the richer. Much like the Threepence, these began mintage in 1910 with the Edward reverse in London. They were minted then George V from 1911 to 1934, with the exception of 1913, 1915, and 1929 through 1933. George VI coins were minted from 1938 to 1952, with the exception of 1947 and 1949. And then Queen Elizabeth came along with a complete run from 1953 to 1963. There were no Sixpence coins in 1964. So we're going to sort these out. We'll hit fast coin mode, sort these coins out, and then we'll come in and see how we've gone with the date run. Let's hit super fast coin mode. Stacks of coins were so skewed towards later dates that we only have 4 coins from before World War II. But we have a complete date run from 1946 through to 1963 because there was no coins issued in 47 or 49. We've got 46, 48, 50 through 59, 60 through 63. Lovely. Let's have a look and see which are the best of the best, and if we've got multi-minted coins. Right, we've got some good news with the Sixpence. We have the entire date run of Queen Elizabeth and King Edward. Not so much on George, both Georges. We've got this token 1960 UK Sixpence, which made it in there as well. When it comes to coins which were minted in multiple locations, not best news there. Details are on screen of who was minted where. In 1942, we had Melbourne, San Francisco, and Denver. We only have one from 1942, and that is this San Francisco minted coin here. 1943 also had coins minted in San Francisco and Denver, and 1944 in San Francisco. Unfortunately, we do not have those, but we do have both coins minted in 1951. Again, much like the Threepence, 1951, the coins were minted in both Melbourne and by the Royal Mint in Tower Hill, London. This is the Melbourne coin. There is no mint mark on it there. Whereas the one minted in Tower Hill in London has the PL mint mark just below the Advanced Australia banner there above the date. So that's a fairly good haul there. We are going to move on to the shillings now. This is the Australian 1 shilling coin from 1910 through to 1936.
it had the WHJ Blakemore designed Australian coat of arms on the reverse. That changed in 1938 to this ram design by George Kruger Gray. This was then the definitive on the Australian shilling coin from 1938 right through to 1964.
Jumping into the shillings, I am not expecting much because this little handful here is literally all the shillings we have. Don't think we'll even get a full date run of Queen Elizabeth here. So again, the shillings started in 1910 with Edward, then George V, 1911 to 1936, with the exception of 1919, 1923, 1930, and 1932. We then had George VI from 1938 through to 1952, with the exception of 1945, 1947, 1949 and 1951. Then Queen Elizabeth came along and had a full run from 1953 to 1963. Yeah, I'd like to think we might actually get a full date run of Queen Elizabeth. At the moment that's looking fairly good. We're just missing 53 and all of 59 and all of the 60s, but we shall see. Let's jump into super fast coin mode as I sort these coins out, and then we'll bring you back in and talk about our findings. Okay, we are back in. These are the best of the best. We only had one option at a dual mintage, and that was in 1946 when the coins were minted in Melbourne and in Perth, and we hit. So what we've got, this is your Perth minted coin. You can tell this one was minted in Perth because there is a dot or a star there between the big star and the word shilling. You look at the Melbourne coin, there is not. That was our only option for a dual mintage, and we got it. Now, I think I said earlier that we had a full date run of Queen Elizabeth. We are missing 1959, so we don't have a full date run of Queen Elizabeth. We're going to move on to the florins now.
This is the Australian 1 florin coin from 1910 through to 1936. It had the WHJ Blakemore designed reverse with the Australian coat of arms there, and said 1 florin 2 shillings. From 1938 through to 1963, the design changed to this George Kruger Gray designed crowned Australian coat of arms, and the words 2 shillings were removed from the coin.
Alright, we've got 3 stacks of florins, so we've got a better chance of a larger date run, a better date run than we had with the shillings. So what we've got is, again, the florins were minted from 1910 with Edward. We've got Edward in 1910, George V from 1911 to 1936, with none minted in 1920, 1929 or 1930. We also have George VI, coins minted from 1938 to 1952, except for 1949 and 1950. And then Queen Elizabeth from 1956 to 1963, with the exception of 1955. These coins were minted in London at the Royal Mint Tower Hill. They were minted in Birmingham by Ralph Heaton and Son. They were minted in Melbourne, in Sydney, and in San Francisco. We will find out a bit later on which mints we've got, but until we get to that point, let's hit super fast coin mode as we go through and sort these coins out. Alright, these are our best of the best. Again, just the one George V. Only a single row of George VI, that's how few of his we got. And again with Queen Elizabeth, just that missing 1959 because there was one minted in 55. Only 2 options we had for different mints, and there were coins minted in Tower Hill, London, Birmingham, Melbourne, Sydney and San Francisco, and 1942 and 1944 are the only options we had. Unfortunately, we didn't get any of the other mintages. You'll see them all on screen. So that's it for the pre-decimal coins. I will go through all of these coins again, as I will with the pre-decimal bronze coins, and see if we've got any notable errors or anything. You might see a video on that in the future. Otherwise, next week for Variety Saturday, we're probably going to start 1-cent coins. If you believe this video deserved a like, I'd appreciate if you could drop a like on this video, and while you're there, if you haven't already, I'd appreciate it if you could subscribe. As usual, down in the description of this video, you will find links to my social media and my email if you'd like to get in touch with me. That's all I've got for you today. I will be back on Tuesday with another 50-cent coin hunt, episode 19, where we find that pesky ACT Canberra coat of arms from the 2001 Centenary of Federation series. Who knows? We'll see you on Tuesday. Bye!